Did you really think that the reptilian alien overlords had been sleeping all this time? Think again. Think again. In this video, I'm looking at the KZ ZVX IEMs. Let's get it. What is cracking, audio fans? I hope you are having a wonderful day. So the KZ ZVX is a single dynamic driver IEM from those masters at KZ. Now, this is retailing for like $18, $19, so it's a super budget IEM. Nothing has changed about the box, but inside the box, something did change. For some reason, they decided to supply foam ear tips in place of the regular silicone ones with this. I don't know why, but doesn't really matter to me because all KZ ear tips are always too small for my ears anyway. So let's have a look at the cable. It is your standard KZ cable, and it's actually pretty decent. It's not real pretty, but it works good, and it's not doesn't have microphonics or anything, doesn't stangle too much. So yeah, nice. So you've got these nice aluminium alloy shells, nice sleek black color. I think they come in a silver color as well. 3 vertical slits on the faceplate there, and just like the recent CCA what was it? CXS, I think. And just like the recent CCA CXS, we've got a bit of a hole there. So it's pretty interesting, looks nice. Anyway, the shells are comfortable, they're rugged but lightweight. I do have a bit of paint chipping off my right earpiece already. I don't know why. That is not perhaps a good sign, but you know, for 20 bucks, I'm not going to complain too much because you know it's all about how they sound, right? So we're going to get right into that. So the KZ ZVX, nice balanced sound signature, nice balanced tuning, very clean sound. In fact, it sounds very much like the 7Hz Zero, which is probably not entirely coincidental, but that is a good thing, I guess, and that's probably why I like the sound of these so much. So you get this, first of all, you get this bass, which is pretty authoritative. It's got a nice natural weight to it. It's got nice clean leading edges, not too sharp, not too soft and pillowy, and it's got a nice fast decay, so it's a pretty speedy bass as well. Pretty good texture and layering and all that. In fact, for, you know, a budget IEM under 20 bucks, the bass I would say is pretty exceptional. And then into the mid-range. The mid-range also sounds really good. Pretty good spacing, pretty good instrument separation. The note size is fairly natural, I would say neutral. Some male vocals and like slower string instruments and whatnot sound a tad dry. I wouldn't call them thin, just perhaps a little bit dry, but it's really, that's just nitpicking. It's not bad at all. It's not a recessed mid-range, it's quite forward as well. So your vocals are nice and up front. Male vocals just a touch dry. Female vocals a bit more vibrant and get a bit more lift there. But the mid-range overall is pretty spot on. Then the treble, and I love what KZ has done with the treble here. It's snappy, it's crisp, it's all those things. It's quite airy, it doesn't roll off too fast, it doesn't sound artificial, the extension is pretty good. It's a detailed treble too, so you get a nice amount of micro detail, quite impressive. And furthermore, the treble timbre is actually pretty good, so they've done a really nice job with the treble tuning and the tuning overall. In terms of technicalities, I would say these are pretty darn good. Again, referring to the cost, sub $20. Like the instrument separation it's okay. I would say it's decent. The detail retrieval is excellent. The soundstage is about average. It's not confined or small or anything, it's just average. It's got nice forward depth as well as good width to it. The imaging is not too bad. So it actually performs quite well in a technical sense. Look, let's get right into a couple of comparisons. We'll start with the 7Hz Zero because, as I said, if you look at the frequency response, they're basically identical, almost, but there are some differences. First of all, the Zero here has slightly more forward mids, just slightly. Bass response on both of these is very, very similar. I would say the KZ sounds just a touch crisper. I mean, touch more defined in the bass, but only very, very slightly. Like, the differences across the board, what I'm talking about here, are really small. You have to sort of listen fairly earnestly to be able to tell the difference at all. I would say the Zero's treble rolls off a little faster, so just a little bit smoother, and that does a couple of things. First of all, it makes its soundstage a little bit smaller. It doesn't have as much forward depth, it doesn't have as much width, but it's pretty close nonetheless. Slightly less detail, and I would say the Zero is a little bit smoother in the mid-range too, but it's also more intimate and upfront, which is another reason why that soundstage is a little smaller on the Zero. And they're both amazing value for under 20 bucks. Now, next we've got the Moondrop Chew, another pretty good one. This one is leaner, especially in the bass and the lower mid-range. It's also a bit more attenuated in the treble. What that does, it makes it very, very much mid-centric or mid-range focused. It's not as dynamic or lively, and probably to my ears not as natural sounding as the ZVX. I would definitely choose the KZ over the Chew here. And look, finally we've got the CCA CXS. These names, I don't know what's going on. I kind of prefer the look and feel of the shells on the CXS a bit more, and on top of that they don't have chipping paint as well. But in terms of sound, ZVX takes the day, takes the win. It is a bit more forward. CXS has got more recessed mid-range. It's a little bit thinner in the mids, but it's got about the same level of bass and slightly less treble. It's a good one. It's still very good for the price, but overall I think the ZVX just sounds a little bit more natural and a little more engaging. And with all that said, I think I'm going to just wrap it up there, guys. So thanks for watching the video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. And if you're new here, or if you're not subscribed yet, come on, give that little button a press. It only takes a second. And until next time, I'll see you later.